Loden's model. Marilyn Loden's model is a framework that illustrates various dimensions contributing to an individual identity. It was developed in 1990 by Marilyn Loden and Judy Rosner. Some of you may be confused, like me, why it is only called Loden's model, even though Judy Rosner was also involved on developing this framework. According to my research, it is because um, Marilyn Loden was the main developer and advocate of this framework, while Judy Rosner contribute on the broader discussions of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So since Marilyn Loden was the leading voice of developing and promoting this framework, her name was associated with it. So going back to the topic, the model categorizes these dimensions into ecocentric circles, highlighting both inherent and acquired traits. So as you can see on the inner circle, we have the core identities. These are the inherent characteristics that shapes a person's identity. It defines who a person is from birth and largely unchanged, like the gender, age, sexuality, spiritual beliefs, etc. On the outer circle, we have the acquired identities. These are the learned or developed traits that are shaped by the experiences of an individual and can change over time, like work experience, family status, political beliefs, education, etc. This model helps organizations and individuals recognize the various dimensions that contribute to a person's identity and how they impact workplace diversity, inclusion, and social interactions.
Let's talk about Griggs model. So, Griggs model is developed by Dr. Lewis Griggs, and it is widely used to help some organizations or individuals to understand the different aspect of diversity and how they impact the workplace interactions and decision makings. So the Griggs model is divided into two dimensions, which are the primary and secondary. As you can see in the illustration, we have the inside circle and the outside circle. The inside circle is the primary dimension, while the outside circle is the secondary dimensions. So the primary dimension, these traits are inborn and unchangeable. They help or shape a person's identity, experiences, and how they are viewed or perceived by the society. This includes the race or the person's physical characteristics, ethnicity or the cultural background and tradition, gender, obviously the biological and social identity as male or female, the age, political affiliation or group or beliefs that you support in politics, and sexual affiliation orientation, which is the person's romantic or sexual attraction to others. Secondary dimensions, unlike primary dimension, these traits can change over time based on life experiences, choices, or circumstances. They help or shape a person's interactions, values, and workplace identity, but um, generally, they are more flexible. This includes the work background or the career history or industry experience, and religious beliefs or the faith and spiritual practice influence the values, behaviors, and ethical decisions. While the education, income, parental status, marital status, geographic location, and military experiences are secondary dimensions that are not usually or not always included in Griggs model, but they are relevant to diversity discussions. Greek's model helps the organizations or companies to understand that diversity goes outside the visible traits. Recognizing both primary and secondary dimension of the diversity allows companies and organizations to create inclusive environments where all employees feel valued, like how primary dimensions highlights the need for anti-discrimination policies. Second dimension shows the importance of flexible and adaptive workplace cultures.
Here we can see the John Hopkins model, which helps us understand the diversity among people. In this dimension, there are two dimensions, which is internal and external. In internal dimensions, these things is about us that don't really change much or are easy to see. For example, like our age, our gender, our race, our ethnicity, and physical abilities. These are the parts of our identity that stay with us throughout our life. The other one is the external dimensions, which are the things that can change over time. For example, like our education, our income, our religion, and work experience. These are influenced by our choices in life, our choices in life experiences. This model, the John Hopkins model, help us to understand that people come from different backgrounds, and these differences shape who they are or who we are, and it reminds us to respect and value each person's uniqueness in school, whether it's in work or in everyday life. For you to easily get what is internal dimension and external dimension. For example, I will give you a simple example. Think of yourself as a big puzzle. Some pieces of your puzzle are things that don't change much. Yes, for example, your age, like what I said earlier, your age, your gender, and where your family comes from. So, those are what we call internal dimensions. Other pieces of your puzzle can change as you grow up, like your education, your job, your income, your belief. That's what we call external dimensions because they can change over time. So that is all. Thank you.
The last topic is responses to diversity. First one is exclusion. Refers to the act or practice of preventing individuals or groups from participating in fully in social, economic, or cultural life. For example, gender, through discriminating against individuals based on gender or gender identity. Denial refers to the refusal or unwillingness to acknowledge or accept certain facts, realities, or experiences. Suppression refers to the conscious effort to control or inhabit thoughts, feelings, or impulses that are considered uncomfortable or inappropriate. Example, emotional suppression. Someone who feels anger toward a colleague may consciously suppress that anger in a meeting, avoid confrontation. They might choose to hold it in instead of expressing their frustration at the moment. Segregation refers to the enforced or systematic separation of groups of people based on characteristics such as religion, gender, or socioeconomic status. Example, in a company, there are separate restrooms and break rooms for managers and employees. Managers have access to luxurious facilities, while employees have basic amenities. Assimilation refers to the process by which individuals or groups from one culture or background adapt the customs, behavior, and norms of other, typically the dominant or mainstream culture. For example, immigrants to a new culture
may begin to speak the dominant language and adopt local customs or traditions over time. Tolerance refers to the willingness to accept or allow the existence of different opinions, behaviors, beliefs, or practices, even if they are different from one's own. For example, religious tolerance, true respect for different religious beliefs and practices. Connection establishing typically refers to the process of creating a link or relationship between two or more entities. For example, in personal relationship, true connection establishing can refer to performing a bond or understanding between individuals, often through a shared experiences, communication, or empathy. Promoting mutual adaptation refers to fostering a process in which two or more entities, such as individuals, groups, or organizations, adjust their behaviors, attitudes, or approaches to improve interaction, cooperation, and understanding. For example, encourage open communication through create channels for honest dialogue where individuals can express their thoughts, concerns, and expectations.